Okay, class. I wanted to add these bonus notes just to kind of put it all together. Yesterday we worked with just the K, and today we worked with just the H. But some of your assignment had both H and K in there, so I wanted to include this set of notes as well. If you'd like to add this to your notebook, please just get a sheet of notebook paper and follow along with me. So, just so we know, let's look at the A letter first. Whenever A is positive, so if it's positive A, it's going to open up. Your parabola is going to look like this. Whenever A is negative, so if you had a negative A, it's going to open down, like this. This is also called a reflection. And if the vertex is on the x-axis, then the axis of the line of reflection would be the x-axis. If you ever see a number that is smaller than 1, so 1/2 or smaller, that is going to make your parabola wider, also called a shrink. So, and it could be with a positive or with a negative. So it could be like 1/2 or like negative 1/2. That is going to be a shrink. It's getting wider. So it's going to look, instead of like a normal parabola, it's going to get really long and wide. That would be if it was positive. If it was negative, it would just flip and go wide like this. Now, if you had a number bigger than 1, so it could be like 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, that is going to make your graph narrower, also called a stretch. So if it was like positive 2, that would go kind of like this, where it's a little bit more narrow and it faces up. If it was like negative 2, it would just be narrow going down. So you just look at that coefficient of A. Okay, now let's review K. When K is positive, if you had a plus K, you're going to move up. And remember, that is along the y-axis. If K was negative, so if you had a negative K, you're going to move down. That is also along the y-axis. Another way you may see this called is a vertical shift. Which means if vertical is going this way, then when it's shifting across the x-axis, that's a horizontal shift. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. Sorry, that was the next set of notes down here. Remember, whenever you have the K value or that number at the end over here, there is no parentheses. Now, if you have the H value, which is what we learned about today, the H value is the one inside the parentheses. You're going to, if you had a plus H, you're going to move to the left because X lies. If you had a negative H, you're going to move to the right. And once again, that is because X lies. It is along the x-axis. And this is also called a horizontal shift. So whenever we have an h, it is always in parentheses, and it will be parentheses x, and it could be either plus or minus h squared. So since it could be positive or negative, in the formula, sometimes you'll see it as positive, sometimes you'll see it as negative. So if it helps, we can just put no sign there. But remember, whenever it's positive, it's going to move to the left. That's going to be the horizontal shift. Whenever it's negative, it's going to move to the right, and that's going to be that horizontal shift. All right, I hope this helped wrap things up. These notes were optional, but if you take it, it'll just increase your understanding.